Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest video game and beer podcast in the world. I'm Ian. I got Jarrod, Nick, Dave, and John with me this evening.
Hey, boys.
No
Get out of
Aaron.
posting again.
No Aaron. No six-pack tonight.
No.
Anyway, you can find us on all the social media platforms at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. You can find our podcast on all major platforms. If you want to watch us, head over to Spotify or youtube.com/milkmanpictures. Lastly, we stream our show live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. like we are right now on twitch.tv/the Couch Co-op Show. If you ever wanted to drop in and chat and be a part of the show, this is an easy way to do that. You can just talk in the chat. And we have Dude Studios, and we have Hand of Malice in the chat right now, or we did.
Hey,
I don't know
guys.
if they're still paying attention.
Evening, gents.
But they were in there. And so tonight we are talking about Hi-Fi Rush. We are going to talk about our top 3 favorite video game levels, missions, or quests. But first, Nick DeWin, what beer are we drinking?
Give me the Kokanee.
Give me that glacial water, baby.
Kokanee.
I'm not allowed to have a drink tonight, so I've got something very close to Kokanee, which
What?
is the finest
Oh.
Beaverton water.
Oh, man.
What? Dave is sick.
Dave making a or either that or he's just talking shit about Kokanee.
No, I actually can't. But I had a glass of water in front of me, so I thought that
Yeah, that works.
I remember Kokanee being a canoe beer. So
Well, here we go. Let's pop the tap. This is
enjoy,
a
gents.
Canadian import, but I believe is it made here these days? I don't know.
Yeah, back in the day it used to be an import, but I
I'm
think
popping right now.
according to the label,
Snap.
I think things have changed.
Yeah,
But we'll
I
talk
got-
about that later.
Yeah.
I even have a can of it as well as a bottle.
Oh, a tall boy, maybe?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
delicious. That's
Yeah, it
wonderful.
comes in tall bottles.
Yeah, it's just a simple Canadian piss water beer.
Hey, it looks just like beer.
Mmm.
Hooray, beer.
That is a pixel perfect beer on the beer can.
They
from
didn't
Jarrod.
have Kokanee
Yeah.
in
You like my beer
Vegas,
can?
John?
No, they do not.
What?
That is weird.
That is weird.
Okay.
It's well, actually, yeah, that is probably kind of weird considering. Anyway, we'll get into the weeds on that one a little bit later.
All right. So, to stay relevant, and what's always popular is talking about games that are of the moment. And thankfully, one of us beat a game that is of the moment, developed by the game company behind Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo. They shadow
Tango
dropped.
GameWorks.
They shadow dropped a game called Hi-Fi Rush, and one of us here has played it and had beaten it. Jarrod, tell us about Hi-Fi Rush.
So, as everybody said, it's a musical rhythm fighting kind of action battle game on the same kind of terms as like a Devil May Cry style of battle system. Lots of upgradable talents and extra skills with additional people to help you to add to your skill set. We can switch in between those characters for many different reasons I don't want to really get into. But yeah, it's high combos, so you really got to work on that. And you can. The cool thing is, it's not like most music games that punish you for not being good at rhythm. It just benefits you to be good at keeping the rhythm, tapping the buttons at the exact time of the beat, half beats, that kind of stuff. So it's very fast-paced, fun, really, really easy to get into. Even doing like the counters is fun because each enemy has a certain sound that plays to the beat right before the attack happens. So you just have to listen for that kind of stuff, like auditory tones and of course graphical tones. Everything is really projected out there for you. So it's really astounding how well the gameplay works for this title. Its graphic style is just so well done. It's like one of the top end cartoons these days that's made with like CG, but you can't really tell it's made with CG cartoon. It's so beautiful. There wasn't any like weird glitching like you see from a lot of animated games with the kind of the cell shading style look where there's weird jagged edges and just weird clipping and stuff like that. It's just like everything worked so well. All the environments are super animated to the beat. I mean, there's some levels that have like cool clockwork gears and stuff like that, and they're all just turning and moving around to the beat, and it's just super rad. It's very 90s, early thousands music because it has real music in it.
About the music, I have a question about the music. So, like, is it its own music you're playing against to, and then when the bosses come, it's a real song, like a commercial song,
licensed
song?
Yeah. In most cases, not all bosses have licensed music, but most of them do. And I don't really know if the music really sits in a boss fight to make a statement or anything like that. It's just a really cool song to play a boss fight to.
So you don't think they weren't like really picked like, oh, hey, this would fit this boss?
Yeah. I don't think that's the case. I think the music is just picked because they thought the songs were awesome, and they are. But yeah, again, they don't have any specific lyrical tones that really fit the tone of the boss fight or the level or anything like that. Not that I caught. Maybe I missed something, but I don't think that's the case. I really don't. But it was really enjoyable playing like whole levels set to songs that you know and things like that.
So
like,
how's the regular music then? That's not the licensed music, is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's super catchy. They don't have lyrics very often. It's just some beats mostly. Really good beats. It has a really good theme.
What did you play it on?
I played it with Game Pass on my Xbox Series S.
Yeah, they shadow dropped it on Game Pass
as well. So if you have Game Pass on PC, I would strongly urge you to play it, Dave. You should try Game Pass on PC. And
it sounds like the kind of game I would enjoy. I've always enjoyed those kind of rhythm games.
On your PC, Dave, you just go to Xbox Game Pass for $1. You can get it for a month.
Yeah,
I know.
$1.
Yeah, it's not even Hold on.
What, John?
Is this game very reminiscent of Jet Set Radio?
The art style, I'd say. I only played a little bit of Jet Set personally, but Jet Set's about speed and tagging and stuff like that. So really, the only comparison you could make is the art style. And the best comparison would be it has a very good art direction. Where at Jet Set Radio, everything just looked like it fit in that world. This game has the same kind of mood and tone. It's not. I mean, Jet Set's kind of, from my memory, is animated kind of the art style, but not. Yeah, but not quite to this degree. I'm talking like this game looks like you're playing a cartoon. The cutscenes are amazing. It actually looks like you're watching an animated movie of types, but it really fits into the graphics of the game. It doesn't even really look like it cuts or anything like that. It's just like, oh wow, okay. And the voice acting is some of the best out there. It's so good. Like there's nothing I can say negative about this game. It just really astounded me. It's so fun. It was hard to put down.
On the topic of the voice acting, because like when you watched that initial trailer when they revealed the game, and it was that very kind of high energy, kind of comical, self-referential, jokey stuff that Forspoken has been getting a lot of shit for. Yeah, just kind of talk a little bit more. Like, you didn't find it like goofy and like too much?
I didn't find it goofy and too much. I mean, yeah, it's goofy, and the main character's kind of a dummy, but it really just kind of leans into that. Like, yeah, he's kind of dumb, and the characters that are along with him, they take a while to get used to him, and they all form this really great bond. It's a really, really great game based around like bonding. And I mean, this guy wants to be a rock star, but he doesn't even know how to play the guitar. He just likes the whole atmosphere of like the rock star moments, and he has like little dreams. There's even like a tutorial level where he's on the stage and being like a rock star, and he doesn't know how to play it. It's so funny and stupid. There's a lot of really dumb jokes in it that you just kind of giggle at, and you just let it go because it's what the game is. You don't go into it like looking for a serious story or anything like that, but the story all turns out really, really great. It's so well done. Even all the boss characters are really well written. Uh, it's just I don't know what else to say about the game. It's like
Is
it
it
hit
is
on
it
all notes for me.
is it a is there a difficulty setting, or is it just like kind of a single difficulty, or like
It
what
has
is?
difficulty settings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played it on easy. I do most games these days because I want to beat a game. I don't want to struggle against a game. Uh, Even then, I still died a few times. You know, there's some challenges even for just being on easy because it takes a while to get used to dodging, countering, and stuff like that. But once you understand the sounds and because everything's happening all around you all at once, but you just listen for those audio cues and
Right.
you eventually get past that.
There's been a lot of hype for the game, and with its being shadow dropped, everyone was kind of over the moon with it. But some people have been saying like this is a potential game of the year.
Yeah.
Where does that for you? Where do you kind of like gauge this game?
It's up there. Yeah, that's one of the best games I've played this year.
Cool.
I haven't played a ton of them, but yeah, it's on the top of my list right now.
And how long did it take you to get through it? About
My tracker says like 20 some hours, but I don't think it took that long. I swear it was wrong. It's only supposed to take like 13 hours to get through the game. Which the game does have some end game stuff, which I started playing, but I'm like completely against timers in games now. It's like challenge rooms and stuff like that, which have timers, and I just like nope, I'm out.
Yep. You're like, nah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, I don't want to rinse and repeat a lot. You know, I'm not into that right now. That's not the type of game style I want. And the main game doesn't have timers and junk like that stress you out and just keep pushing you to rinse and repeat. You know, it's not like that. It's just after you beat the game, you have the choice to go in, and each level has a special door that you have to find. And I don't like time trials and challenges like that.
if it wasn't for Game
Did you
Pass,
play
do you? Oh, sorry.
Did you play the Artful Escape, Jarrod? On
No.
that's also it used to be on Game Pass. I don't know if it's on there anymore.
I did not.
That's another game. It was a side scroller where you play a rock star. It was another music influence game. But if it's still on Game Pass, or if it comes on Game Pass, I'd recommend that game for you.
Yeah, I remember watching a trailer for it. It looked really interesting.
So would you play it again? Would you
Well-
play it through again? Like,
Well, before we get to that, I wanted
Yeah.
to ask the bigger, like, if it wasn't for Game Pass, do you think you would have checked this game out so early? Would you have checked it out at all?
I was super interested in that trailer. Yeah, I think so. Eventually, maybe not on launch like I did, but like most games that I'm uncertain about, I usually wait for a deal. But this game, I'm really glad I jumped in that first week, and I couldn't stop playing it.
This is why Game Pass is so hot.
Yeah, I like it. I use it a lot.
Cool. I don't have any more questions. Anyone else? All
would
the
I be
thumbs
right
up.
in saying all the thumbs up? Yeah.
Yeah, all my thumbs up, even my toes. Yeah, four
Got toe
thumbs and
thumbs.
toes up. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go. I think everybody should at least try the game. If the beginning doesn't catch them, I don't know if it will. I mean, there's great additional characters. The bosses are awesome. Like all their personalities, all the visual, everything is just so amazing. But again, like you guys know, I'm a huge fan of animation, like movies and animes and stuff like that. And this really stood out as something very special to me.
It's kind of funny too because, like, you know, Tango Gameworks is known for, horror games like Evil
Yeah,
Within 1 and 2 and Ghostwire
I
Tokyo.
beat Evil Within 1. I've played quite a bit of Evil Within 2. I
And-
haven't played Ghostwire Tokyo yet. I have access to it. I should play it.
It's funny though, like to think that this is like their this is like their most potentially their most popular game at this point. How much
Yeah.
do you think that is just because it shadow dropped? It's like, oh hey, we were working on this. Here, you guys go play it. I
Yeah,
feel like
everyone's
that is.
ooh.
But even then, like it was shadow dropped for a reason. Like
Oh, right.
everybody that played it in the studio, everybody that played it at Xbox was like, "Whoa, this is something amazing. We got to hold this. We got to do something really cool with this." They were just like, "Oh, I hope people like this."
Right.
This is something they knew was going to knock people's socks off, and they shadow dropped it. And that was definitely their mic drop. That was such an awesome reveal.
Because I heard one of the executives is leaving. I forget which one. But
In Tango?
Yeah, one of the higher ups, one of the director of arts or something. Anyway, no, it's just super cool that like they did all these horror games and then this one other kind of just offshoot. It almost feels like the redheaded stepchild that they allowed to be made, and then everyone seemed to really like it. Now they're gonna have to like kind of pivot.
It'll be interesting to see what that studio turns into. I mean, of course they have their horror game heart, and a game company that's that big. They have to have tons of employees, and when a certain department's not working on something, they've got to be tinkering. And it's cool that this project was greenlit. It's really cool when companies get to use options.
Oh, right. Or you just give a smaller team like, hey, we need you guys to, go make something. And then they come up with something that's fucking awesome. It's just like it gives you hope in like video games that like these companies are still willing to give chances. You don't have to make Evil Within 3. It could be something totally different.
Big budget sequel number gajillion.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
let's
nice
go.
to see original stuff. But, all right.
Jarrod, what do you think this game has done differently compared to other rhythm games you've played? Because anytime a rhythm game, not all rhythm games, but you seem to kind of like rhythm games as a genre. So what do you think has made this? Is it more of a complete package of things, or do you think they've just done it better compared to other rhythm games?
So I haven't played a lot of rhythm type games that are attack based. Most of them are like music based. And the biggest part about this one that makes it better than most music games is that you can mess up. You can mess up and it's not going to make you fail. It's just going to make a boss fight take a little bit longer, And that's where like rock bands and dance games and any of those that require specific rhythm, you're going to fail if you don't do a good job. Your music is going to sound like shit if you don't do a good job. Or even like Metal Hellsinger, which is also a music rhythm game. Its music track only completely unlocks if you're really on it. And if you fail, you just get the bass line. And as you do better in that game, you slowly unlock more layers. And not until you get the top tier where you're doing the best do you get the vocal track. And then you can lose that right away. So you're missing out on a lot of stuff. And this game doesn't do that. It just gives you an incentive to do better with the beat because it gives you bonus attack power and combos and stuff like that. Cool. That is my answer, John.
Take that and put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for that review of Hi-Fi Rush, Jarrod. You can play it now on Game Pass, or you can get it on Steam, I believe.
Yeah, it's on PC.
PC.
So I don't know what stores, but yeah,
Steam or Epic is probably
Microsoft.
one of those. But yeah, cool. Go check it out. Now, let's get back to the Kokanee. I finished my beer. Jared's been talking too much, so he hasn't finished his, but I'm sure he can sum up this beer. I imagine Nick is drinking another one? Another three?
3 of them. Yeah.
I do have a question. What is so different about Canadian lager than anything else? Is it just the
glacial water, Jarrod.
So it's just the water. Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's very polite.
It probably would have been a different time, because sorry, John and Dave, but if you look at your bottle,
yeah, tell me about it, Nick.
Yeah, where is it actually made?
Tell me about it and tell me where it's made, eh?
It's made in Las Vegas and shipped.
Here, let me tell you. Kokanee is a beer brewed
jukes.
at the Columbia Brewery. I was going to read all this shit about it. Let me read about this first. Kokanee is a beer brewed at the Columbia Brewery in Creston, British Columbia. Columbia Brewery began brewing Kokanee lager in 1959 and was purchased by the Labatt Brewing Company in 1974. Currently, Labatt Brewing is now part of the new company at the the new company, Anheuser-Busch InBev San/MV, which is trading as Bud on the New York Stock Exchange. So it's Bud. It's basically just Canadian Budweiser.
Yeah, except now it's produced by Kokanee, St. Louis, Missouri. If you look at the label.
Kokanee, St. Louis, Missouri.
Still good lager. I mean, it tastes good.
Yeah,
It's not bad at all.
but I swear it probably tasted better back in the day when it actually probably came from Creston, BC versus St. Louis.
Yeah.
Mighty Mississippi River.
The Columbia Brewery also
Yeah.
brews Kokanee Gold with a fuller body and 5.3% alcohol content.
Oh man, Nick, why didn't you suggest the gold lager?
Because that might actually be. Because I don't think that's ever been available in the States. That might
Never.
actually
No, that's
be
like that's a Canadian
Yeah.
only.
Yeah, that probably never made its way down past the border. But
Because we're not
Yeah.
that rich.
There's also a Kokanee
Um,
Light and a Kokanee True Ale. Kokanee?
I mean,
Coot Nanny.
Kootenay?
Now we're getting
Kootenay?
too
I think it's
Canadian.
Kootenay.
Yeah.
I think it's Kootenay. Kootenay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kootenay.
so Jarrod, you weren't at Morgan when that whole thing came down. No, you were actually.
I
somewhere else.
was, but only a few months after it happened is when I left. So yeah,
Okay.
I was there. That was back in 2006 when that started happening.
I find it fascinating that they still produce this and Labatt Blue together, Canadian beers. Like, choose one, and I would choose this one over Labatt. Labatt's a little harsher. That's a little rougher
Yeah.
beer. It's a little rougher beer.
Kokanee's always been kind of. I mean, it's always been kind of a regional brand.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because I mean, it was only available. I mean, when it was produced out of Creston, it was only something that you could probably only get like maybe in like BC, Alberta. I don't know how far east it went in Canada, but it was also just kind of like an Oregon, Idaho, Washington thing. I mean, outside of that, I don't know how far. I mean, clearly, it even now that it's made in St. Louis, it still hasn't made its way out to Las Vegas.
So the
or-
beer is named after the Kokanee Glacier in the Kootenays region in which Creston is situated. So there's an actual glacier called Kokanee.
It hasn't.
I
melted
wonder
yet?
if it's still there. Yeah.
And supposedly they
well,
shipped
most
the
of it's
glacier
don't worry.
Kokanee Glacier water to St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
The Kokanee River goes all the
And
way
make
to
this
It's
Missouri.
small enough to be portable. Jeez.
So it's clearly not the same water. And that's probably the difference, actually. 100% probably the difference in the taste. I bet you
Yeah.
$1 million that's the difference in the taste.
Mm.
Because, like, I agree, it is not the same that it used to be. When
Yeah, this tastes almost.
it tastes fine, it's just not.
No,
Same.
I'm not hating on it. It has this kind of a.
fluoride water taste.
Yeah, it tastes like my cavities are going away. Thank you.
Yeah, like 10 Barrel or Hop Valley. It tastes like all those
No,
beers.
it just tastes a little more
Pelican
raspy.
Brewery. It's got that fluoride taste.
And it used to have a bit more of a unique flavor to it back in the day. And
No, I
just
don't even
now
think
it's-
unique. I just think a little crisper and a little. It's like Labatt. This tastes like Labatt Light.
I haven't had Labatt in years, so
I just recently
can't
had
really
it, so.
say. Well, I can't wait till we do that beer, and then I'll know for sure.
Why? I mean, what's the difference really at this point?
I
But
guess, no, still fine. Still like it. It's still like there's like I don't know if you guys have it on your. Well, I guess I'm only asking two other people at this point, but I mean, is there like a little bit of a sweetness on the aftertaste on it? Kind of like something you'd get off maybe like a Budweiser or something like maybe
Maybe
kind of
some
like
of that Beechwood
Or
made it
no.
into this batch.
Yeah, like Beechwood maybe, or like kind of like a corn or a rice sweetness aftertaste to it.
I feel like it used to have that more than
Yeah.
it does now.
Mm.
I feel like it was a little bit sweeter, cleaner, crisper beer. Now it's a little
Yeah.
danker now.
My experience with Kokanee is very limited.
Oh, I used to drink it all the time.
Yeah, I had it probably more so back in the day when I probably shouldn't have. But
Why shouldn't you have had?
because I may not have been 21 at the time.
Oh, that's a long time ago. The
Yeah,
last time I
that's
drank
back in the
Kokanee
dark
was when
ages.
I was 15 years old.
Yeah, knee high to
It
a
was-
grasshopper.
It was the night JPK came into being.
Wow. You were there, Nick?
Does that make Brand my
omnipresent.
stepmom?
I was everywhere.
Nick is your father.
I think I have the you know, if Nick's the father, I have the photo of conception. You know, it was at Jarrod's apartment. It was a late night. We were on the couch together. I don't know.
Wow. Couch co-op took on a different meaning that night.
Yeah.
Optional.
Yeah, optional or the co-op part.
Inceptional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
69
No,
69
Couch conceptional.
couch conceptional. Oh my god. We
There we
gotta
go.
like we gotta figure out a new segment for the show.
no, we don't.
You know, all right. What are your final thoughts, Jarrod?
It's pretty all right. I don't know if I'm going for a lager, I wouldn't say no, but it's not what I'm going to reach for.
Right.
I'd give it a sideways thumb.
Nick?
It's like I'm gonna go sideways. I mean, it's the okayest
Yeah,
Canadian
it's pretty,
lager,
pretty all right.
but it's also
Pretty
also
all right. It's a
it's
boot.
pretty-
All right, eh?
Okayest.
yeah.
It's the best
the
Canadian
okay.
lager you've
But-
got in your room right now.
I've still never had
at the same-
Molson's.
Yeah, I've never had Molson.
Anyway, go ahead, Jarrod. Nick, finish.
I'll circle back to Molson here in a minute, but I mean, I'm giving it a sideways thumb, but I would give it a little bit more because it's one of those beers that I should probably buy more, even in its diminished taste versus what it used to be. But
I bet
it
you can
should
get
be
it. I bet you
something
can.
that
I bet you can get it in, like, British Columbia, at that brewery. I bet they brew
Maybe.
a version, and it probably tastes way different.
It might
Yeah.
also be worth looking out. I don't
Maybe.
know if the tall boys might be brewed still, or they may only do the bottles.
Yeah, that's possible.
Sometimes
bottles
that-
in St. Louis.
yeah, sometimes that happens.
Well, I mean, that was the thing. It was like I think the brewery in Creston, BC, was also kind of like, it was kind of unique. I mean, back before AB InBev, because I think it was also served as Labatt's Western brewery as well, to where or maybe not brewery, but well, maybe just they bottled like the Western portion of their stuff there, and I don't know what that has to do with Kokanee, but sorry.
So you're,
Anywho.
what are you giving it? You're giving it
I'm still giving it a sideways thumb, but
Okay.
it's sideways that should probably be more like that.
Well, I'll cover you. I'll cover you, Nick. I mean, I have loved this beer for a long time, and I do feel like it has had a slight. I've always been a very proponent of this beer. I've had Labatt's. I've never had Molson's. Is Moose Lager from Canada? Moosehead?
Yes, it is.
Moosehead, yeah.
Moosehead's pretty good.
Yes.
But I've always had a fondness for Kokanee. Kokanee's kind of a nostalgic beer because on my stepdad's side, his father would always get it. So with Henry Weinhard's and Kokanee, that was always around. So I love the beer. I think it's in a beer. If it's sometimes if I see it, if I'm just in that mood for cheap beer and I see it, I will grab it. So I'm always gonna buy it. And then just to offset for Nick, I do agree that its taste is weird, a little more, not the same as it used to be, but to offset, I was gonna give, I would also give the kind of this, but to offset, I'll give it the thumbs up. because I love the brand. I love the name. You know, salmon, kokanee,
Yeah.
fishing.
It's a fun word to say.
It's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah,
beer
and-
name.
I like their
And I wanna-
label as the glossy blue.
I
It's
also
really
feel
cool.
like I know Dave's not drinking it tonight, but I'm sure Dave would probably give it a sideways thumb, at least middling. That
Yeah.
you know, I feel like I don't want to like shit. It's not a beer I want to shit on 100%. So
No, my memories
and
would
this was-
definitely not
and-
be a thumbs
Right.
down, but
Right.
probably not a solid thumbs up.
And I
either.
just remembered a memory of a bar that I used to go to, Corner Saloon. They used to have dollar beer night. They used to do like the 3 major beers, and Kokanee would be their
Nice.
4 beers that they would have on dollar beer. It was always Kokanee. That was something I drink, and it definitely didn't taste like this, but
yeah,
just yeah.
cool.
Just
Well, there we
wanted to
go.
Throw that out there, but
That's 2 out of 3 chubs up for Kokanee. Nick to win. What game are you pairing this Canadian classic with?
well, this was really, really tough because there isn't really a game that's kind of centered around Creston, BC. I mean, video games as a whole.
Canada. You have Alpha
It doesn't
Flight. You
seem
have
like-
Wolverine. There's so many Canada stuff.
Yeah, those are comic books, not video games.
But there's video games with those characters.
Yeah, but I mean,
All right, fine.
I have a video game I'd pair it with. It'd have to be SSX or SSX
Oh,
Tricky
SSX.
when you're going down that glacier.
Yeah, you could do steep. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
snowboarding. What are some of those
Okay,
good?
well.
What are some of those?
I
Oh,
was-
he
I-
has
I-
one. He has one. He's just playing
I have
coy.
one.
He's playing Canadian coy, eh?
yeah. So this is what it's about.
This is what's a boot.
So playing
NHL
with the Kokanee-
2020.
No, yeah, sorry. So there's also a kokanee salmon or sockeye salmon. Anyway, they're not represented in the game, but there's other fish in the game. And I think Dave, Jarrod, and I, we were talking about this game on kind of an after show for a while after Ian bailed on us. But Odell Lake.
Odell Lake.
Yeah, if you go, you have to break out an old ass computer to play this game, but
Is it not on that website?
oh yeah, I guess it is. Yeah,
Is it on
is
that
on
Video
website?
game
website.
archive.
Yeah, it's a 1986 game.
I remember playing that.
Yeah. Oh no,
I just played it.
It's where you just fish.
well, no, it's where you act like a fish. Where it's
Oh no, I
like-
have played that
oh.
one.
Oh, not that
The
one.
perch-
What's the one you fish on the?
Cheats, the
Oh, okay, never mind.
yeah, it's like what eats what kind of game.
yeah, it's like kind of what eats what.
No, I haven't played that.
And like whether you try to run away or if you can eat something and then
Yeah.
shit, it turns out to be a fisherman and you're fucked.
Are you the little fish or the big fish? Basically, do you get eaten
Yeah.
or do you need to run away?
That's funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Odell Lake. 2 chubs up.
Yeah.
Odell Lake.
Yes,
That-
and it's great that you call it a chub because yes,
That
chub
is a
is the
fish.
smallest fish in that game.
Well, for trivia questions in the future,
Oh,
the only reason
yeah.
we call it chubs now is because Nick brought us Old Chub,
Yeah, old chub.
and I thought chubs was better than thumbs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a-
So yeah, there's your
Good
chubby.
stuff.
All right,
Yes.
this is the moment where we would do Aaron's Mobile Minute. Oh, but there's no Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah. So
But
this
then-
is the time where I'm going to go get another beer.
But then we also don't have to say goodbye to Aaron. But yes, if you need a beer, get a beer.
Oh, is this a liquor break too?
This is a little bit
Aaron,
of a break.
name of the
If you
game?
need a break,
Oh.
if you need a water
enough.
break,
Go wet
Ian,
your whistle.
Go ahead and run through the questions you would have asked Aaron.
yeah.
Aaron, where are you? That's my question.
Aaron, how are you? Aaron, are you in the trunk of a car?
Aaron. Blink twice for help.
Yeah, is someone forcing you to talk off camera?
So you've decided to do dry February, huh, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah.
How are the AA meetings?
Fun.
How long are you gonna stay on the wagon?
I don't know.
So this is like serious then.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, I guess you gotta start picking some NA beers then.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's
We could
one.
totally do that.
The beer distributor near me, when I've gone in, they have a fridge and they have free samples of like soda waters and stuff in there, and they always have like 1 or 2 NA beers that they're carrying as free samples. So I've had a couple from there that were pretty good. There was only one that actually, like, if you didn't know that it had no alcohol in it, you would actually think it was a beer, though. The rest of them always have kind of a little weird flavor.
Yeah.
Not bad, but it's just a different flavor.
The best one I've had is the Black Butte from Deschutes.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I think I had that.
Yeah,
up at
that
the
was
end.
good.
I think All Day
Nick says
Brewing
the
has
St.
one
Pauli
that's
Girls
really
NA
good.
is really good, and because I love the Heineken one's okay, and I really want to try the St. Pauli Girl one.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of like gravitate if you're gonna have to drink an NA beer. You kind of want to gravitate to the beer you're kind of like fondness for. So like my
Yeah, I know what
lagers
you
of
mean.
that. So like the Heineken one I can get away with for a couple beers, and then I'm like ugh. But the St. Pauli Girl one he says is pretty good, so I want to try that one.
Yeah. So we're just waiting for Nick and his.
Guess we're waiting for
He's
Nick
gone
to
on
get
a
back.
beer run to Canada.
I guess I don't know where. Yeah, I thought he brought all his beer up beforehand.
And that man needs a little beer fridge in that office, doesn't he?
Yeah, right. He needs
Kind
one
of
of
Ian
these.
style. Yeah.
I would like a mini fridge someday out in the
Keep
garage.
an eye out on Craigslist. Maybe you can find a free one.
Yeah.
I mean, mine was free.
Wow, Jarrod, you got a lot scalier.
Oh, Garrus.
Yeah. Have you started Mass Effect 2 yet, Ian?
I wasn't gonna start it till March, so
I'm 9 hours in,
Oh.
almost 10 maybe. Still getting the band together, and I haven't done the loyalty missions yet.
I'm sure once
Yeah.
see, I'm like, oh shit, I probably should get into it. But like, I feel like March, I'll play through the entire thing in March, and then we'll record in April at some point. So just
I would like to play that game again someday. Maybe
Do it
I should
now.
get on that.
Do it now.
Yeah,
Do it
I
now
know,
and
I know.
jump in on
I mean,
the
I've
combo.
been through that game 4 or 5 times, so I'm
So
like,
have I.
I
It's
don't
still
know.
so good.
It is, yeah, I'm sure.
Just
and the
think it-
intro was like none other.
there's always
I think
there's
I've
always
been
room
through
for
it
more. I don't know. Did
three
you, Jared? Did you
times,
listen to our episode?
I did. I loved it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's fun just not be a part of it too. I don't know. Maybe it's
Yeah,
fun just to
I don't
listen.
know. Yeah, it was a fun listen.
I like those. I like these kind of masterpiece theater. So like once the Lord of the Rings, once the Mass Effect stuff is done, it'll be kind of cool. Like take ideas and see.
We make Ian play Halo.
No, I've played Halo. I didn't like it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about that.
I want to eventually play the 4th and 5th Halo and Infinite, whatever.
I played
all
Infinite
those.
too.
I haven't played. Yeah, I haven't even played that.
It was all right. It was a game.
Yeah, seems like that's the
And
whole
that shiny
idea behind
review.
it.
Shiny review. I mean, they're all kind of games, aren't they? All right. Hey guys, we're still here. We're on the back nine, and we're gonna do this kind of cool thing. I wanted to do this top 3 of what's your favorite, like single level or single mission or single quest in a video game, and obviously, a single mission can also be a quest and a level depending on the game. You could it could be, it could be the same thing. So that's why
I'm breaking the rules.
right. It's no breaking the rules. Like, oh, it's the whole level. Like Mario 1-3 is the mission. It is the level. You know what I mean? So whatever.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
all.
our top 3 in those, I thought it was a kind of a cool thing. We've never really done like kind of breaking games apart in that way before. So anyway, I hope you guys didn't have any issues with this. This is pretty easy, right?
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. Not for
I
me.
went with some quick ones on the top of my head.
Oh, quick ones. Jarrod did not doing the deep thoughts. All right. all
Well,
right.
I mean, the ones that usually are at the top of your head are some of your favorites, right?
Right. Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
That's what I find. It's like I
Yeah.
sit there
Yeah.
and think about it.
I'm guessing that we have some of the same too. I
I
imagine.
decided not to
Mhm.
put on the ones I thought you guys would probably.
Oh,
have.
really? I decided to put that on anyway because it is that good. And I actually
Yeah.
rewatched some YouTube episodes and I was like watching this like being like, "Oh my god." Anyway, so because I'm hosting, Jarrod, you get to go first. What is your number 3 top 3 number 3 level mission side quest? I mean.
The very first time you are playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night and you get the item to get to the inverted castle and you realize you've really just started the game.
I've never.
So the inverted castle in Castlevania Symphony of the Night is still something that stands out because that game was already huge. Like that map was massive. It took a long time to get through it, and eventually I beat it. But that's not the real ending. So I'm like, I'm going to keep playing this game. I love.
So what
this
makes
game.
it
So I
stand
went
out?
through it again and again. Well, because it is literally just the whole gigantic map of that castle flipped over with different enemies and different challenges, different puzzles. You have to really use all your skills to get around it. And eventually that's how you get the final real ending and all that stuff. And just the whole idea of just flipping the map and it worked is a really, really great thing. It just showed how why one of the many reasons people still love that game is just so huge and so wonderful. I mean, it just gave you a reason to keep listening to the music in the game because
You know
it's
what-
like some of the best game music.
You know what's funny about that game is like now that because I've only played it through a certain part, but now that you say this, like envisioning that game, if you were to flip a level, it makes sense that the level is then playable upside down.
Yeah, easily.
They
Yeah.
must have thought about that way early on.
I would assume as much. Yeah, I mean when you beat the game and you only have 70-80% or actually less than that of completion, and you're like, huh. And
Cool.
then you figure out I think it was like goggles or some type of glasses to look at something in a very specific way. And then you destroyed, I think it was death in a very certain way. There's like orbs floating around him. You have to destroy those, or it's been so long. But once you do that, the castle inverts because his spell is broken or whatever. And it's super rad.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Symphony of the Night. Inverted level. Inverted world thing.
Inverted castle.
Inverted castle. Nick DeWin, what's your number 3? And I'm sorry that you had such a hard time with this.
No, it was hard just because it was pouring through the memories. Like I sometimes I have an issue with like trying to pick favorites and stuff like that.
Too much
And-
good stuff.
There is.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's kind of hard to rank some of this stuff, but as far as number 3 goes, this will be kind of a fun little crossover to Yusuf Hatlani and his charity stream over the weekend. And
Which
I'm
we
also
donated
kind of-
like $40 some to Couch Co-op.
Nice.
Yes. Woohoo. And
Good
this
on
is
us.
kind of where I break the rules because it's not going to be a level, but it's going to be a zone. It's going to be the Starlight Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog.
There you go.
When I reached this, when I first played it, it was awesome because it was fun because it was like one of the things that they first featured on the commercial for Sonic the Hedgehog. It was, and it also, it was, I don't know how to put this, but it, just being able to like kind of speed through some of the levels, like, I mean, you kind of got a taste of it in some of the earlier levels, but I mean, just like the whole selling point of Sonic the Hedgehog was kind of like how fast like he moves around and stuff like that, and it kind of became kind of a focal point later on with the whole blast processing. It it was just like the whole zone was a lot of fun, and then when I finally got to Dr. Robotnik, it was just a bit of a letdown because it was just more of a like, oh well, I'm kind of done with this
Low
zone.
boss fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a lot of fun just kind of getting to that point because it was a lot of fun. Like it just kind of essentially showing, like it was almost like the commercial proving you, like, hey, this is a great game, and this is what the game has to offer as you're, flitting, flying around, and basically what Sonic is supposed to be. Uh, Sorry, I had more
So,
organized thoughts
in
earlier.
my experience, that is one of the faster levels in the game, and the lead up to that
yes,
is you
thank
being
you.
completely disappointed because every time you hit a booster or a bouncer, you run into something. There's a wall. You stop right away. You maybe get to go around one loop de loop. Oh shit, there's a bounce pad to send you the wrong way. Or
Yeah,
oh,
and
something fell away. You don't really get to go fast until that level where there's
yeah,
really long
well, the whole
stretches.
zone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm so glad you said that because that's
Yes.
kind of.
In my
I
opinion,
I was taking the scenic route to get to that point, but yes,
yeah.
that's essentially my what I was trying to say, and almost in a way it kind of like sets the stage because I mean, there's like if you play Sonic 2, there's other levels that are kind of like that, but I mean, it was just not and. Also, I want to throw a quick shout out to the music. The music is great for that level
Yeah.
too. It's also iconic on its own level, but
Mhm.
it, it's always been like a favorite of mine to even go back and play. Like even like I can't remember if it's like on a ROM that you can kind of like level select or if you can actually do it when you actually beat the game. But
There's probably a
just to kind of
debug
go,
menu you can find.
yeah. I think there was a debug menu or something.
Yeah,
I can't
probably.
remember. I mean, shit, this game came out in 1991, so it's like
Yeah.
30 plus years
There
old.
you go.
So, I mean,
Cool.
anyway, going back, it was a lot
Sonic.
of fun. It's a favorite level or
Yeah.
a favorite zone of mine, I
There you
should
go.
say.
I like it.
Dave, what's your number 3 favorite level, quest, or
That's kind of
mission?
funny because I was actually gonna like one of the first ones that came up in my mind was the first Sonic game, but it's been so long since I've played it, I couldn't remember particularly which level. But the other one that came up in the same vein was that first world of Super Mario World, where you
Yeah.
run through and you get the mushroom, and you're like, wow, I get big, and then just trying to get through, and I think it has something similar to the Sonic game, which in the way it has like flow. You play it and again, and I was just thinking about the whole topic in general. It's like some of your favorite levels. I was thinking about a lot of the early games I played because they didn't have save states. You had to play the levels again and
Mhm.
again. So like
Yeah.
sometimes they levels did become your favorite, but by the same token, sometimes they became your nemesis, or you're like, oh, I hate this level.
Yeah, yeah. You played through the same levels over and over
But I
because you
played through
had to get to where
that
you
first
were.
level of Super Mario, and it's just great.
Cool.
So
It's like
you're talking Super Mario Brothers for the NES?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the
Okay.
first
Sorry,
one, yeah.
sorry, I said
Yeah.
World,
Well,
didn't I?
no,
Yeah,
I
Super
mean,
Mario Brothers, but
All the
yeah.
Marios. Yeah. Similar.
That
Yeah,
that
it's
that
great
that, that,
because
that world that
it-
level is crazy just in its tutorial aspect without it having
Yes.
to tutorialize the level at all. Like it teaches you everything you need to learn about the game
Yes,
without telling you how to
Yeah.
play the game. It's
it's
Yeah.
so
brilliant.
much fun. Yeah, and it's fun. It
It's a
doesn't
more
feel like you're learning. It's just, and then you always try and get the flag as high as you can at the end of it.
Oh yeah.
It's like this,
or
just
if you're
little
not
things
trying
like
to
that.
jump over it in some levels,
Yes,
but
Oh
yeah.
yeah. That too.
But yeah, that's just one level one level of a game. I mean, it's just such a statement, and
It's also like
yeah,
everyone knows
it's
it.
very
yes,
iconic.
everyone knows it, and that music. I mean, as well,
It's iconic in its own right.
yeah, it's really is defining
All
game
right.
of a generation, and it's a defining level. Like, you know, you go back and you play that game, you still think, you know, you remember all the levels, but that first one's, there's just something about it that's just kind of almost perfect.
Cool. All right. John, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Gaul Spaceport from Shadows of the Empire on the N64.
Tell me
Oh, I
about
think
it.
I
I don't
played
know.
that
I
one.
never played that.
So it's a pretty much a midway level through the Shadows of the Empire. You're following Boba Fett.
This is Star Wars, the franchise you don't
yes.
like. Okay. Just want to
Yes,
clarify
this,
that.
the franchise. This is before Disney bought it and ruined it, by the way. So pretty much, you're playing as another bounty hunter, similar to Han Solo, and you're following Boba Fett because at this point Han has been transformed into carbonite. So you're hunting Boba Fett to get to Han. So you follow him to Gaul Spaceport. And it's essentially you have to land in the canyon nearby because it's an Imperial spaceport, and then you make your way through the spaceport with the boss at the end of the level being Boba Fett himself. So the level is fun because it's kind of a mix of different elements of the game that you've gone through thus far, platforming, shooting, etc., etc. But then you get the jetpack, like probably a quarter of the way through the level, and then you get to play around with this jetpack, which has a new gameplay feature to the game as well. And then so you're dealing with a new verticality that the game hadn't really shown before. And the game is still janky. I mean, I've played it recently because your character is on tank controls, but it's still, that was always pretty much my go-to level. Whenever I would just load the game up, I would just play Gaul Spaceport over and over again. And even though the Boba Fett boss is lame because it's a 2-part boss battle, you play Boba Fett, and then once you knock him down, then he hops into his spaceship, the Slave 2, and then you have to fight a spaceship. And his spaceship was just a hard boss to beat because pretty much you would have to save all your powerful weapons for the end of the level just to fight him.
And this is on Nintendo 64?
Oh yeah, with the expansion pack.
Man, I can only imagine how awful
first...
this is to play with that controller.
Yeah. But this is like, I think Shadows of the Empire was one of the first games to have the expansion pack, which would it would say enhance the graphics, but I think essentially it would just be, it just gave more power to the system itself.
Cool. All right. I've never heard, or I know nothing about that game. Jarrod, none of you guys have played that?
No.
Oh man.
No, I played a couple of Star Wars games on the N64, but that wasn't it.
Yeah, we didn't like it till Disney bought it. So
yeah.
All right, my number 3. I'm gonna pick Into the Abyss. Do you guys know what that is?
No,
the level is called Into the Abyss.
I think once you say the game, I think I know what it'll be.
It's Titanfall 2.
Because it's already considered.
It's Titanfall 2.
Ooh.
It's the level where you go down with 2B into the manufacturing level of the world, and you have to leave 2B for a moment. So I rewatched this whole video on YouTube about it. He broke it down brilliantly, and it's kind of a level where your relationship with 2B kind of builds a bit, because then you have to leave 2B because he gets captured, and you have to get back to him. And so, your character runs through this the craziest level in my opinion. The time travel level is awesome, but I think this level where they're fucking manufacturing shit and it changes and you get to kind of go wherever you want to go in the level it's kind of open the way it is. It's like unique in that way.
Factory that's
this
awesome.
is big factories
all over,
moving
overhead.
and changing, and
That's
it's just
cool.
It's like this really big kind of relationship building level between you and BT, and then it's cool the way it's designed. It's a lot of fun to play.
It was almost on my list.
It's such a standout. for a game that I think is one of the greatest first-person shooters, probably my favorite. I love Wolfenstein, and but like I feel like Titanfall 2 is one of the greatest single-player campaign first-person shooters of all time. And I just wanted to show it some love because I really love that level. I love a lot of levels in that game, actually, but I think ultimately that was one of the funnest, and I just had a really good time with it. So that's my number 3, Into the Abyss, Titanfall 2. Jarrod,
Nice.
number 2.
The next one that popped right into my head is the very first time I bumped into one of the running music levels in Rayman Legends called
boy.
Castle Rock. It's a take on Black Betty. And,
Black Betty, yeah.
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 But they don't use any of the lyrics. It's all the beat, and you're running to it. Explosions are happening. The shit's happening all over the place. And
I've seen Jarrod play this level like multiple times.
Yeah, I love it, and that's only the first of many in that game, and that's not even the best one. But that's the greatest memory because I had no idea the game had that kind of stuff in it. And I start the level, and it starts playing this song. I'm just like, oh my god, this is so fun! The fun level of it just it's hard to top. And later in the game, after you get really far, there's kind of a 8-bit version of it that eventually ends up like being super crazy pixelated in like a tube TV kind of a look. Some of the music levels even go up to maybe 32 different screens, and you have to follow one of them. And I mean, it does such weird transitions. It'll flip upside down, all kinds of stuff. It's super, super fun, and it's very, very memorable.
The only man that... Did you platinum that game?
I did.
Yeah. Took you a lifetime.
Took a long, long time. long time.
Cool. Rayman Legends. Nick, number 2.
So this is where my memory is going to fail me a lot, but
I hate that.
I know, but Left 4 and this is also where I get to cheat a little bit, but Left 4 Dead 2 Dark Carnival, like just the whole of it.
Nice.
But unfortunately, it's just it.
Go ahead.
What, you never played it?
I've never
played Left 4 Dead.
I played Left 4 Dead 2, I think, with Jarrod, but I don't think I've ever played the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, no, this is from Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh,
yeah.
But I don't know if I don't know if I played that either.
It's been a while.
Oh well, it's basically. I mean, you're in a theme park. Yes, a carnival / theme park. And unfortunately it's been years since I played this game, but it's that whole level is just it's like the most memorable part of Left 4 Dead 2 to me. And not to mention it's a lot of fun because you find like clown zombies that if you melee hit them, you have like the little squeak honk, but I don't know. It's just I wish I had more to add to this, but I mean,
you need to get back.
You
need to get back into PC
too.
gaming. I think Left 4 Dead 2 is free to play on Steam.
Well, sure, it may be free to play, but I mean, I've had it for years. But
yeah, but you could play with me on Steam. We could play together.
Okay.
You could
I've
Sherpa me through the game.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Maybe I will. But it's. I mean, I don't know. It was just a lot of fun with like the little just all
It's
a lot of the
definitely one
stuff
of
that
the
they threw inside and
more
and
thematic levels.
And JPK is going to save this for me. Thank you very much.
That's what he does.
Yes, but I mean, I also struggle because there was also another great campaign, The Passing, which it was kind of fun because you got to throw like both the original characters from the first Left 4 Dead and you got the Left 4 Dead 2 characters together, but unfortunately, I just don't remember anything much beyond that. But
that's cool. Left 4 Dead 2.
No, I mean Dark Carnival. It was a lot of fun. I mean,
was that DLC or is that like a main?
No, it was a main
game.
campaign.
Okay. Dark
Well, then
Carnival
the,
sounds like a DLC, you know. Left 4
It
Dead
does.
2,
No,
the Dark
no,
Carnival.
the ending was like this rock show that you had to
Yeah,
put
yeah.
on that had like
Oh.
pyro effects,
Mhm.
and
You
it was
know,
like
I have
for
another
this, like,
question then,
aging, like Ace of
'cause-
Spades kind of band.
No, because the Dark Carnival is that's the Insane Clown Posse. That's
Yep.
their thing. They go to the Dark
Oh,
Carnival.
Yeah,
my
and you know what?
God.
I wanted
Thanks.
to throw an
Walk
ICP
through the
joke
door.
in there somewhere,
What
but
through the Hall of Illusions? Visit
Yeah.
yours.
yeah.
What is a juggalo? Yo, that's what it is. We'll fuck you
How
fine.
to
Anyway.
magnet.
Anyway, hey,
But
you
no,
I
want?
had no idea.
I mean,
there
I mean,
was
there's like-
juggalo
what are magnets?
representation on this podcast.
I love
But I
me
mean,
some
not
ICP.
even that. But I mean, there's like other
Juggalos!
rides that you have to like you have to activate other
There's a
rides
tunnel
that will
of
like
love.
triggers. Yeah, there's a tunnel of love. But
See,
I mean,
that's
there's,
totally
like,
that's
other-
ICP. I think they have a song called "Tunnel of Love."
But you end
I think
up triggering
I think it's like a
horde,
metaphor for
and
your
it's-
butthole, but I'm not quite sure.
I would love to play Left 4 Dead 2 again. That'd be fun.
No. It's a lovely
Yeah,
game.
it's Back for Blood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Back for
yeah,
the
we
Blood
can do that
is
too.
Back for the Blood is Left 4 Dead 3. Anyway,
You know, it's-
good choice. Left 4 Dead 2,
Anyway.
Dark Carnival. Thank you, Nick.
I know. I'm sorry. I wish.
No,
I
it's a good
could've-
choice.
I
Hey, no.
wish I-
None of these are
No,
wrong.
no.
What?
No,
That was
I'm
great.
sorry. I just wish I had more to
To say
kinda
about it.
offer to.
I got it.
Yeah, it's just it's.
It's okay.
been
You don't have
years
to. You
since
can
I've
just say
played,
Dark Carnival.
so-
Fucking badass.
Memories
Next,
are hard to tap into. Yeah.
Dave.
It's just it means more when you have more of a personal touch.
Does
to
it? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
I
mean,
think this
do
was
have a lot of-
memorable for
there
all
is
the
a personal-
ICP
All I
Juggalo.
know is
Everyone's gonna
Tony
remember
Depp
this
is
one.
laughing his ass off right now.
No, it's just so like back
In his
the day,
clown
it's just-
makeup.
I remember
Dude,
like
Tony Death is a
being, like-
Juggalo, man.
Yeah.
Tony Death is a
It's-
fucking Juggalo.
So it was like Left 4 Dead 2 was like it was kind of a transition thing for me too, where I like had like an older PC to where I like built a new PC, and it was just kind of
Nice.
really nice to like the older PC could still run the game, but it was just there was certain things that wouldn't happen, like certain sounds that I wouldn't hear, and then when I built the new PC, it was just kind of like a whole new experience for me. And at the time I was like playing with like a bunch of people from my old Counter-Strike clan too, that just it's there's still kind of a little bit of an emotional thing to it too.
Yeah.
But at the same point it's just like I don't remember a lot of the little
It's okay.
like a lot of the specifics about it, but I mean it's still I remember the whole but not the specifics, if that makes any sense.
100%, buddy.
Okay.
I had
Thank
a great time with Left 4 Dead with Jarrod. That's a whole story in itself. We
Yeah,
won't go into
any,
that.
Any co-op moment. I mean, there's a lot of co-op moments. That could be another episode of a podcast.
Yeah, we
Just
should. We
co-op,
should probably
favorite
do
co-op
favorite
moments.
co-op moments. Just
Yeah.
like that none of us could actually really replicate. You know.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
memories fade over time, but the feeling remains.
Yes,
Indeed.
of course.
Dave, what's your number 2?
I was gonna say the final boss battle against GLaDOS in Portal.
Oh,
Okay.
there you
I
go.
Oh,
played
wow.
that over and over.
I did
and
that very recently.
I really enjoyed it, and part of the reason I played it over and over is just for the theme song at the end.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I love that theme song. It's so good.
it's just fun. I love how it's kind of riffing on the 2001 Space Odyssey as you kind of nuke the cores off her and she kind of starts losing function.
Because each core is a different emotion.
Yeah. And
And if
you
you've seen
put
2001, he's like slowly his brain's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like
I
because he's
still need to
removed.
watch that. I've never watched it.
Oh man,
What?
yeah.
It's right down my alley, but I've never watched it. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know
it-
if it's down your alley, but
yeah.
yeah,
it
Yeah.
is.
it's
But
super
yeah,
slow and
remove
boring.
the memory cores and
I've only
it's
I've
just
seen
great.
the movie. But the first time I saw the movie was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. So
Oh, very recent.
but
love
it's
that
it's a good
song.
watch.
I love I love how mean she is and how you're taking the bits away from her. The nerve gas and then the timer as well. That adds kind of a little bit of a fun element after you figure out how to beat her the first time. You're like, okay, can I do it faster?
Yeah. Yeah. Quick.
yeah, how quickly can I get it? But
Because that game
That
is
just-
actually so short.
yes,
Yeah, it's not super
I
long.
mean that game's got a lot. It's just such a good character.
Yeah, 100%.
It
Even
is.
better, she's also awesome in the sequel. I mean,
Yeah, the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
really
and the
good
sequel
though.
fight is also really awesome.
Yeah. Popping her to the moon.
Yep.
Oh, spoilers.
Oh, yeah. How old is that game?
It doesn't quite have the ending song though.
No,
the
it doesn't
first
have
Yeah.
the song. It's that
Yeah.
one's
they,
more.
they had to have realized there was no way to top that.
Yeah, so they didn't. They
yeah,
didn't.
so
know.
they just didn't have a special song.
But but the sequel does the comedy so well throughout.
Yes.
That game is just a next level
Yeah,
comedy.
the first one's
Yeah.
good comedy, but the
if
second one
you
is
haven't
like,
played it, play both
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
great.
no, the
great
final
game.
battle is pretty great, and then the
Yeah,
song,
that, that's one that stuck out to me just because it's like,
spoiler: the
Yeah.
cake is a lie.
yes, the cake is always a lie.
Good choice. Good choice. Dave.
Yes.
All right, JPK, number 2.
Following my father's footsteps, it's Titanfall 2, The Fold,
The time
which
travel.
is the last level.
the last level's good too, because he's throwing
Yeah.
you all the time.
Yeah, so the last level, spoiler, but
Kind
the
of an
last level
well,
you're
last level's kind of an asshole
chasing-
level, but yeah.
you're chasing after essentially the final boss in the game, and so you're on these starships
Like a
that
space
are
train.
racing through a jungle level,
Mm.
and pretty much you're hopping from like spaceship to
Yeah,
spaceship
hopping, you're being
and
thrown.
just fighting some baddies, and then BT will just softball toss you from ship to ship. So it's not just so much the gameplay, because at this point, the gameplay, like, and this is not to knock the game itself, but it is repetitive. You know, you go through, you fight you have a litany of weaponry at your disposal, so you're just shooting guys. But it's just the spectacle that it's a race against the clock, even though there's no clock, but you feel pressured. You're like, we got to get this done now as fast as possible. We're speeding through this jungle at high speeds. We're leaping from ship to ship, blasting everyone, and then okay, we gotta leap to the next one, and then BT's there with you, jumping from ship to ship, and then softball tossing you or from ship to ship as well. So there's a fast pace, and then there's a boss battle that's challenging at the end, and it's just a very fast-paced level, and the spectacle is great. It's just a lot of the vistas are very impressive. I mean, the game has
It's
impressive.
nonstop too. It's like there's no like breathers in
Yes.
this level. It's like go go go
Yes.
go go. Like some of the other levels, you can kind of chill out. This one is just like it's constantly on you, and you have to like just
Yes.
Another game I'd
Yeah,
love to
and
play through again.
go. Yeah, I want to play through it again too. I rewatching
Yeah,
this
that
guy's
might-
YouTube videos. I
might
was just
be a
like, I should probably
masterpiece.
we probably should masterpiece it. That might be a good playthrough.
Because I think we all enjoyed it, and I
Yeah.
think we all
Oh,
have it.
100%.
All right, so I'm sorry, John. Keep going. But
No, and then the final boss battle is fine, but because I say that because at this point the
Right.
mechanics of the game,
right.
you know how BT works, and so it's just you're just going through the paces with that final boss battle. It's just
I think all the
realizing
boss
how
battles are
the-
kind of like that. Like they're kind of like if there's a weak
I would-
point in the game,
Yes.
it's because the levels are this spectacle and they're so awesome and epic, and then you get to the boss battles and they're kind of a thing, and you kind of just know how they are.
It's probably more in the beginning of the game.
Right.
The boss battles are more exciting because you're still
Right, but
trying to
then
figure out the
right.
mechanics.
right, 100%.
And then towards the end, especially since the game is fostering this relationship between you and your mech.
Right.
So towards the end of the game, you get to the final boss battle, and the pace kind of slows down a bit because the game doesn't give you a timer of how fast you need to beat the boss. It's just like, oh, this is the final boss. Just beat him, and this is and you're done with the apex predators.
right.
Um,
Which is crazy too,
So
because then you
it-
have this whole game that's about Apex Legends, and
Yes.
The
yeah.
whole lore within that is interesting too. But no, 100%, 100%.
But that's my number 2.
Good choice. Good choice. I mean, I love Titanfall 2. I mean, I think that game. Man, I don't know how many dicks I have to suck to get a sequel out of that game, but probably never gonna happen.
Yeah, sad. Yeah, screw Battlefield. Let's bring more Titanfall.
Right? Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
My number 2. You probably. I'll name the level name again. You guys probably know it though. I remember this is like the early days of Discord. We had a Discord at this point, and I just remember like mentioning it. It's like, oh my god, this is like this level blew me away. Everyone needs to play this game. It's fucking awesome. This is so just crazy. Blah blah blah. This blah 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 that. It's the ashtray maze.
Yeah.
From Control.
Oh yeah, that one's
Take control. I mean, this is so when you go down and you get the headset from what's his fuck's janitor's whatever his name is, and you go to the ashtray maze and you play the tape, and then the ashtray maze opens up, and then this level is just this kind of like Titanfall 2 with the making of the level. This level is just constantly changing as you're moving through it.
Yeah,
and then
evolves.
it's just got this fucking metal take control. And it's just like this, it's just pushing you through this level. And I was just like playing it like, what the fuck is this? This is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's just the molding and development of the level as you progress.
I mean,
is
the whole
super
video. I mean,
cool.
Control is an awesome video game to begin with. It's cool. The battle
Yeah.
system is fun. It's awesome. But then to like kind of like, not even the final mission. I mean, there's missions after that, but like, just to kind of culminate in this kind of like, what the fuck? Just like, I mean, I just remember being like, what the fuck is this? This is so cool. And I just had like, kept turning up the volume because it's just like,
Yeah,
just,
I played through it a couple of times. I wasn't sad when it died.
it's just awesome.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's difficult. I don't think it's a difficult thing. It's just the fact that it's just kind of constantly kind of changing and fucking with you. And I don't know. I really enjoyed that level. I thought it was like super cool, and that whole game is awesome. I mean, but that as a level, I thought that was super cool, and I really appreciate it. And that's one of my favorite. And I've played through it like 3 or 4 times. It's super cool. Anyway, that's mine. Ashtray Maze. Control.
Yeah, great one. I almost added that.
Jarrod, number 1.
And the second time this game has been mentioned.
Oh.
So it's the moment where you think you're just about done with the game, and you're on a platform being guided towards the baking of the cake. And you're on this platform
Yes.
slowly declining into the fire
That's funny.
in Portal.
Very
And
cool.
you learn there is no cake. They're just about to burn you alive, and you have to escape this place.
That's cool.
And it's
Is
just
it a-
such a fantastic scene. The dialogue in it. I can't
Spoiler.
quote anything.
Congrats
Yeah,
on
my
being
ass.
the only game so far that's been mentioned twice.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like levels.
Portal is
Titanfall
still
2.
an astounding game, and yeah, Portal 2. Yeah, we can always hold that high because a lot of people think Portal 2 is the better of the two, which it's hard to judge because of the first experience, and
Yep.
then Portal 2 is amazing because the comedy, the co-op stuff, all that stuff.
No,
Yeah, but
Portal 1 is amazing.
the moment you see all the art through the game on the walls. The cake is a lie, stuff like that, and you're just like, huh, the cake. There's cake being mentioned here and there. Yeah, here, come, we'll do you a cake.
Yeah.
And it ends up they're just trying to throw you in the oven, pretty much. And it's such a cool scene. That's like that's like halfway through the game. It's a lot of great dialogue and interesting puzzles after that. It's such a wonderful game.
GLaDOS. GLA
Yeah.
DOS. Yeah, good choice, Jarrod.
And I just played through that in recent months again because I had a PC powerful enough to play it finally. So I played it on PC. Originally, I played it on PS3. And it would be really awesome if they'd release like one of those more modern versions of it for PS5.
Baby, baby,
Yeah,
baby.
through the orange box on
Baby,
modern
baby,
consoles,
baby.
make Half-Life playable. Yeah.
All right, Nick DeWin, what's your number?
My number one. So we're gonna go to Fallout New Vegas for this one.
You're speaking foreign language. Oh, I guess maybe John's
All
played
right,
it.
John will know.
Maybe John knows.
Yeah.
It's a little side quest called "Come Fly with Me." You and I have a little, and it's a super memorable quest, but I mean I came away with it like some questions, just because it's like when you do good, you kind of feel like you're doing bad, but essentially what you're doing is you're working to, like, there's a sect of ghouls who think that they're gonna find kind of like a better life on the moon, and you eventually help them to build and propel a rocket to ship them off to the moon.
Not just one rocket, 3 rockets.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, it's been a while
Take
since I've
that, Nick.
yeah,
Take
okay.
that.
I thought you were the New
Whatever.
Vegas super fan.
Right. Yeah.
Continue.
Continue.
I'm sorry. I was going to let John take over, but no. No, but I mean, it's kind of a quirky, kind of Fallout-y quest that it's just kind of fun to play. But at the same point, even when I did it and I was trying to like retain kind of good characteristics, it was kind of weird that like I would gain good karma and good standing with Novak, if Novak being the town that's nearby. Actually, let me scale back on that. It kind of makes sense that they would like it if I got rid of the ghouls. But in any sense, it felt kind of weird to ship them off on their supposed mission, even though I felt like I was sending them to their death, and that I would get good karma. And the opposite would be if I didn't allow them to do that, I would gain, like, I'd kind of be vilified for it, even though I'd kind of be saving them, if that makes any sense. It's kind of a weird quest. It's a side quest, not kind of, it's not integral to the actual main storyline of the game, but it's just fun, kind of iconic. Well, maybe not iconic, but it's very it's kind of one of those missions that it just kind of
stands out.
Yes, thank you. It stands out with the game itself. And there's even a fun little character inside the game of a human who thinks he's kind of turning into a ghoul. And the fun fact that the voice actor that voices all the ghouls actually voices this character, even though he's not actually turning a ghoul. I mean, it's just kind of a fun quest to do and take part in. You don't actually have to do it, but I don't know. It's just it's almost kind of like a quintessential.
What did you enjoy so
Fallout.
much about it?
Just
Did it make you laugh?
Just a-
cry?
no, just a Falloutiness of it.
Just the Falloutiness of it? More than any Fallout game, you were just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so Fallout.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't have to do it. It wasn't integral to like the main mission of it, but I mean, it kind of helps.
How many times have you played that mission?
A couple of times.
A couple of times.
Like I've only done 2 playthroughs of New Vegas, believe it or not.
You do get an achievement for beating that quest in New Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's integral for the
But-
platinum.
Yeah,
You-
I mean,
If you don't mind me jumping on your
go ahead.
so you do the quest. It is somewhat integral because when you come to Novak, you're looking for information for the platinum chip, and the main security guy, one of the snipers, says, "Well, if you do this quest for us, we can give you information
Well,
for this platinum chip."
If you don't mind me
It-
jumping on really quick, Nick.
hold on. I
John,
wanna
does
correct him
your
because-
fiance know that you're this much of a nerd?
No.
Go
But
ahead, Nick. Carry on.
But I think you're talking about if you talk to Manny Vargas, right?
Yes.
See, I never initially initiated this mission that way. Mine was
Oh,
more
really?
talking. Yeah, because there's another person who is like the way I triggered the mission was because of the invisible. They're not quite super mutants, but the Nightkin. There was a like kind of like a farmer type person, kind of like on the edge. If you walked up to the Repcon,
Mount Charleston.
Huh?
Mount Charleston.
The Repcon Center, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
There was kind of a farmer or rancher or something who was complaining about something that was coming down, wearing stealth boys or whatever that was kind of slaughtering some things. And
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that's kind of how I triggered the mission. I didn't get it from Manny Vargas.
Okay.
So I mean, there was kind of like 2 or 3 ways to trigger the mission, but I mean that's how I did it. Is he wanted me to find out what was going on, and so I kind of like waited.
The Pit Boys podcast. Everything you wanted to know about every
Yeah.
Fallout game ever. In
Well,
Yeah.
if anything, it just shows that New Vegas, there's different ways to trigger quests. So it's interesting that Nick got his quest by talking to a farmer in Novak, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So
And
I
then
was I was supposed to
quest
sit
through
here and
the
wait.
Vanilla version.
Mhm.
I think
So
there's
they
potential.
really wanted you to do the quest as a lot of different quest givers, maybe.
Well, no, I mean it's still a side quest, but
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
still, that quest seems pretty interesting, and it really
Well,
stuck
Obsidian
to
has
you
always
guys'
cared.
minds.
Obsidian has always been care. Here's the thing: Obsidian cares more about role playing than Bethesda ever has. So Obsidian is gonna do that kind of shit. That's why they do their shit in like Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
Yeah, that shit's way more role playing. I mean, Bethesda just kind of does these kind of simple, but like, Obsidian wants to do these kind of bigger things, and I think now that Obsidian and Bethesda are both at Microsoft, you're probably going to get a sequel to Fallout. I think 100% you will get a Fallout New Vegas sequel, but
And I don't know if I want that.
well,
We're getting the Outer
Really?
Worlds 2 first.
yeah, we are getting Outer
That's
Worlds
already
for
been
2
announced.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
which is a great game. But anyway, anything else you want to say about the level and quest, Nick? Or can
No,
we
I
move
think
on?
pretty much JPK and I have pretty much covered it.
Yeah, you guys don't. You
It's-
get, I mean, if
I
you
mean,
guys
it's basically
want to go
it's
suck
a
some
fun
cock some
side
more in a
quest.
closet, go ahead.
Alright,
But
whatever. Yeah, we'll get some Cazadors in there, and
Yeah.
everybody will be
Oh,
happy.
It won't be a
fuck
closet, it'll be a
Cazadors.
vault.
That was such a difficulty spike bullshit. I hated
oh my
them.
god, look at these guys already. Dave, what is your number one level, mission, or quest in a video game?
I think I've talked about it on the show before, but on the Xbox 360, the Death from Above level on Modern Warfare, Call of Duty.
Classic. A
Yeah.
classic.
It's
You love that movie.
Just
mission.
something about how it's like
It's like
it's
real
just a
life.
bit- it's a bit of variety from the game, but
It
it
feels
also,
real though.
Yeah, it feels real. There's also the fact that you yourself are not actually in any danger in that level. You're trying to protect the guys on the ground, which kind of makes it for a different level for the rest of the game, where you're in danger. Of
Right.
being
You can
shot.
kill them all though. And then
Yeah, you can kill them
fail.
But I just look, and I love the fact that you've got the big Gatling gun, and then you've got the heavier guns that take longer to reload. But it's just such a fun level to play, and
The
I've
last
played
time
it
Call of
again and
Duty was
again.
relevant.
Yeah, pretty much. That was when Bush was president, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
I
how
think
long
so.
ago that was.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
A minute.
Mm.
So, but yeah, that level just always sticks with me.
It's been referenced in movies. It's been referenced. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like a. No,
Pop culture.
even when I
icon.
played it for the first time, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, and it's such a cool level that's like totally different to the rest of the game, really. But it fits with the rest of the game. That's the weird.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's the weird thing. It like totally fits in the game, but by the same token, it doesn't take you out of the game, but it's a totally different game.
And it's a
So-
super, it's a
so
super
one of
OP
the really
level too. It's
interesting-
Yeah.
super
One of
OP.
the really interesting parts about it is like the call outs. So like they all just sound like natural call outs over the radio.
And they're talking, and you can hear
Yeah.
who you usually play as
Yep.
Mhm.
down there, and then you
And
can
it's not
hear.
overacted. It's just
No,
like
it's just
like
more. It's just the same
you
shit. Yeah.
Normally here, just dudes talking like, "Hey, there's some people there. Take them out."
And they've
But yeah,
never been to. They've never
Targets
been able to
eliminated.
reenact that. Recreate
No, they've
that.
never
Yeah.
really had as good a level as that. It's a well-designed
really
level
good.
as well. Just
Well, the whole
like
game is actually pretty well. I mean, for
Yeah,
a Call
that
of Duty
first one.
game, I mean, we talk about. I mean, Titanfall might be superior, but like in its continuity, that Call of Duty game is pretty.
Yeah, you play through those levels again, and they are memorable levels.
Yeah, but I couldn't imagine a whole game based around that. Just
No,
having
that-
that one.
Oh, no,
segment
yeah,
was
no, you
perfect.
wouldn't.
Primo, yeah.
But it's a perfect like separation. Like, oh, hey, they must be. Let's give them something else. They're probably tired of this. Let's
Kind
give
of
them
like a
something
plat-
new.
Palette cleanser.
Yeah,
halfway
It was
yeah,
through.
also
100%.
early in the game. It wasn't even midway. It's
Is
like
it early?
the
Is it that
third or
early?
fourth level in the game.
I feel like it's
pretty
middle.
It's
Is it not
early in
middle?
the game.
Oh, maybe. I don't feel
It's
like it's
cool.
that early.
It's cool though. There's
It's very
nothing,
cool.
There's nothing that I can think of, and like I say, the other thing I like about it though is you're in actual no danger. You're just kind of protecting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're
the
in
guy.
danger if you fuck up and you fail.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's different to the rest of the game where you've got a health bar and it's you that.
Right.
So
Cool. Call of Duty.
yeah.
What is that? Do you remember what that level's called? Did you pull the level name?
Death from above?
Death from Above. There you
Yeah.
go. Death from Above. All right, Johnny. What's your number one?
My number one is Dead Man's Party from The Witcher 3 DLC Hearts of Stone.
Oh wow!
I
What a
never
choice.
played the DLC.
Good choice. What a choice, man.
So Hearts of Stone, essentially, Geralt gets mixed in with this demon, who wants him to pretty much capture Ulfgeir von Eric's soul, which is owed to the devil. But through a loophole, Ulfgeir has managed to escape the devil's deal. And so, through the course of the main DLC quest, you get what is it called? Possessed by Ulfgeir's dead brother's soul to attend a party, because essentially his last dying wish is, I just want to be a man again. And so so you attend this party with Shawnee, who's like this medic that Geralt knew from years past. And it's a change of pace in terms of The Witcher's gameplay, because instead of having to be a demon hunter, one, Geralt is possessed by another being, so it's not even Geralt who is playing the mission. It's this dead brother's soul. And then two, all it is there's no combat. All it is just talking and interacting and like mini games. So it's just a very change of pace in terms of The Witcher 3. You get to interact and romance Shawnee if you want to, who is another female interest of Geralt, and she's different from Yennefer and the redhead. I forgot her name.
Triss.
So Triss. So it's different from Yennefer and Triss. And it's just a great change of pace, and it shows Geralt in a more humorous role because Ulfgeir's brother is very outgoing versus Geralt is not. So it's just a great change of pace, change of gameplay, and it's just a nice. It's a more comedic side of Geralt that you're not able to see through the vanilla Witcher 3 gameplay.
That's cool, man. I didn't know you were a big Witcher fan.
You must have played
yeah.
Witcher on the Xbox, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, I played Witcher 3 on
PS4?
PlayStation 4 when it first came out.
Huh. Okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, 100% agree. I love The Witcher. It's such a great game. I
really should play through the DLC. I
You
think I bought the Ultimate Edition for like $7.
Oh,
Wait,
go
can
for
you
it.
get? You can probably get the PS5 version.
Yeah,
right?
it has a PS5 upgrade for free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the Witcher DLC, Witcher 3 DLC at least, is
Almost better
I don't
than
know
the
about
main
the
game.
upgrade, but it's always cheap. Their
Yeah.
Game of the Year edition is always cheap and always on sale. It seems like.
People have said that the DLC is the best part of the game, and the story is really good. I'm not a huge fan of the gameplay, but I love the game, and the story bits, and
I
all that
enjoy
stuff,
the
side
gameplay,
quests
right?
and all that.
Oh,
I
interesting.
don't like the gameplay.
Yeah, I think the gameplay, especially for the harder difficulties, it is one of the most fairest, hardest difficulties that I've ever played.
I like it more than Dragon Age. Gameplay wise.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I probably just suck at it.
I just played it on normal. I actually played that game. I think I just played that on normal.
I played it on the easiest difficulty possible, and still felt like I was terrible at it. I was doing something wrong.
All right.
I don't like when I feel like that about games. When I'm on the easiest and I'm still doing terrible, I must be missing something completely.
All right. Let's wrap it up with my number one.
Ian, what's your number one?
Let me say the name of this level, and then if you can't figure it out,
Vanquish Bayonetta.
Act 4, Twin Sons.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, Jared's right. Metal Gear Solid 4, Act 4, Twin Sons, aka also known as
Liquid.
Return to Shadow Moses.
Yeah.
This is my favorite level because you hop on a helicopter and then you fall asleep and then it puts you in PS1 version of the game and you're dreaming about and you play
That's right.
the first part of the Shadow Moses level from PlayStation, like the PlayStation 1 version of the game. So as
I
you're
almost put just that first level from Metal Gear
so
Solid.
you're kind of
actually.
playing it, and then he wakes up in the helicopter, and he has like, it depends, but like he wakes up and he has like a Solid Snake PlayStation 1 face, and then he wakes up and it's gone, and then but then just that
so
whole
good.
level going through it, getting Rex, and then Rex fighting Ray, all of that. I mean,
'Cause
as a
you get
meta,
control Rex, don't you?
yeah, you play as Rex, and
Yeah.
so you go through the level, you find Rex, you get in Rex, you find a way to start up Rex, and then Rex, you come out, and then Rex fights Ray from Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
It's just fucking like it's all of it coming. It's like all of the toys coming together. And I just
want to
really
see
love
a Hind D or a Rex behind you someday.
I just love all of that. As a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, I was just like, oh my god, this is all of my favorite things coming together. And it's just, it's kind of like all the Marvel shit or all this, all that shit coming together. It's just like, yes. And,
Good choice. I knew you were going to throw some Metal Gear on there somewhere.
So that is my favorite. I love Metal Gear Solid. I know it's kind of I would love to do. We talked about earlier. I don't know. I think Nick might have been away, but hey, Nick, if you don't have a copy, you can borrow my Titanfall disc. But we talked about Titanfall 2 as a masterpiece. I would like to do.
No, I have.
Oh, you have it?
On my
Oh, you have it?
PS4. Yeah.
Well, I would
Oh,
love
okay.
to play.
Good.
We would love to do that as a masterpiece, but I would also love at some point to do some Metal Gear Solid game as a masterpiece. I think that would be
I
awesome.
wish they'd remaster the whole series.
Yeah, right. But
I mean, we can all
well.
play Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, it's funny because that whole thing you described.
that's the worst one. I don't want to play the
I
worst one.
Loved it.
I loved it
what's the
too,
worst
but I
one?
don't. No, I love Metal Gear Solid 5, but as a story and as a Metal Gear Solid piece, it's like 1 through 4. One of those has
What,
to
Nick?
be. Anyway,
Well, no, I was going to say my introduction was to Metal Gear Solid was, I mean, that's the only one I've played is 4,
oh, okay.
and
Oh, interesting.
That's weird.
and that level that Ian described, I completely remember. It was kind of fun. It kind
But you have to.
rolled
But like,
back
I
to-
guess if you don't know the context, like Metal Gear Solid 1 is all about.
Well, I don't.
going there and doing that, and like, so if you haven't been there and done that mission, that it seems kind of hollow. So as a lover of the game,
Not necessarily.
Okay,
I mean,
alright. If you know about it,
I didn't know about it, but I didn't know a lot about it, but I mean, I knew it was kind of like an old series. So when that kind of popped up when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4, I kind of knew it was a throwback, and it was enough to the point to where I could appreciate it.
gotcha.
So
I remember
it's-
playing the demo to Metal Gear Solid over and over and over, and it was that Shadow Moses level over and over and over. And then the game finally came out, or it was already out, and I finally got it. Yeah. And then, it showed up in Metal Gear Solid 4, and I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Well, speaking of that, I want to throw some honorable mentions, and because Jared's talking about demos and stuff, this is one of my honorable mentions. This was also a demo, but it's also the first playable level in Metal Gear Solid 2. So it's MGS2, it's the freighter level.
Yeah.
So it's like you sneak onto the freighter as a Solid Snake, and you play through that level, and that's the kind of the demo level. Ultimately, you don't know that eventually that's going to get shit fucked, and you're not going to play a Solid Snake through the rest of Metal Gear Solid 2. Spoiler! But I will just, when I'm feeling down and depressed, I will just play just that level over and over again.
That's another demo I played a lot of.
Yeah. And I play the full game, so I play.
Yeah,
but
I played the game too.
But that's one of my favorite. That's actually one of my honorable mentions on here. So thanks for bringing up demos, Jared. I have another.
I
I have
remember
another.
that Metal Gear Solid 2 demo. That's what you gotta play. You gotta watch the ice cubes melt, all that stuff, and it was all you and Solid Snake. And then the game came out, or you finally got the game, or whatever, and it had that surprise.
Where is? Hold on a second.
Oh, you're looking for the demo?
I actually have it.
Yeah,
I have it. So a Zone of Enders 1.
yeah, Zone of the Enders.
You pop it open and then boom!
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
there
I
it
remember
that
is.
shit out of the demo disc. More than I played the Zone of the Enders. I think that's like you. That's probably why you bought Zone of the Enders.
No, I never bought Zone of the
No?
Enders. That was a bought later.
Okay,
No.
I bought Zone of the Enders so I could play Metal Gear Solid 2.
No, no, because so that's funny, Jerry, because that's kind of a cool perspective. So when I finally bought a PS2, Metal Gear Solid 2 was already out,
Yeah.
and that's when my video game journey really began. Even though I've played all these retro games before, all the games, the Nintendos and the Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, but I was never really a gamer until I bought a PS2, and then I rented Metal Gear Solid 2. That's when I became a gamer. Yeah. So
That's right.
so, and then I went back and got Zone of the Enders because of Hideo Kojima. So
Yep.
anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Anyone else has honorable mentions about game levels or Anything.
Balls of Fury.
Balls
from
of
the
Fury.
South Park, The Stick of Truth.
Oh, the sex scene.
When your dad's balls are like coming across.
That's a great level. That was a great level.
Or Canada in that game.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
Canada's
great
good.
levels
Since we
in
were
that game,
drinking
man.
a Canadian lager.
I'm actually
earlier.
surprised not more of those levels actually came up because there's so much good shit in that level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
That's
whole
That's
game.
game.
Perhaps
All right.
another masterpiece.
Every level.
Anyone else?
Contender.
The Sand Temple in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
I never made it because I couldn't give a shit about that game.
Well, honestly, I almost added the open world when you finally get to the open world of Ocarina of Time. Like, just that open zone. That's one of the very first games where you could, like, leave somewhere and then look in the distance of the map. You're like, I can go to that volcano. Wow. You know, I almost added that because that is monumental right there.
Cool.
Now you look back at it, it looks like shit. But back when it first came out, and most N64 games look like pure garbage. But back when it came out, it was like, oh my god, this is like like can never get this any better than this. This is amazing. It's funny we say that every generation.
All right. Anybody else? Anything else? We good?
I was going to say Wipeout XL or Wipeout
XL.
2097,
All right,
but
all right.
I couldn't actually just say any particular level. I just like that whole game, the flow
Or
of it.
track, I guess.
Yeah, even the tracks. It's like there's a couple that I really love on it. It's more about just the flow and the skirting, and then when Firestarter drops, if you're on the right track and it just drops when you're coming into that first turn. It's like boom.
Cool.
Well, come on, this wouldn't be a Couch Co-op podcast if we didn't mention the Vault of Glass.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do,
Yeah.
Jared. That was gonna be my final thing. My final vault was gonna be the Vault of Glass from Destiny because it's one of the most perfect things as a game. It's like a mission, it's a quest, and a level. It's all of those things, and it's like we ran it so many times.
Yeah,
It was so much
plenty
fun.
of personal jokes
Yeah, all
based around just that one.
Well, I'm glad
one
Jared
experience.
got the memo.
Yeah.
No, 100%. So many fun moments. We've talked about it, endless loop at this point. So,
Yeah. We don't need to go any further into that.
but it's actually as a level, it's really well crafted. It's a lot of fun to play. It's all about teamwork, and as a video game, it's super fun. And I don't think Destiny will ever reach it. I don't think it has to start. They have to start all over. Anyway, what's couch co-optionals quickly. Jared, do you have any couch co-optionals?
I like a YouTube channel I watch all the time called Carbot Animations. And they do a lot of just short animations based on experiences in like Elden Ring, Diablo, stuff like that. It's just very short, dumb, quick, and you're like, oh yeah, that's funny because you went through it. And it's funny. I would recommend that to you, especially Ian. Or,
All right.
Diablo 3, he's been doing a lot of Diablo stuff, and it's real funny. Carbot Animations, all one word.
Cool. Nick to win. Couch co-optional.
Well, I also had a YouTube guy that I would have recommended, but I can't find his name. So I'm just going to say Wu-Tang and American Saga. It's available on
Yeah,
YouTube.
baby.
Season 3. I just started watching it tonight. So
I'm up to date. I love it. Oh man, I love that
Yeah.
show. That's why I keep telling. I think that's another thing. Oh man, Nick, you just reminded me now, and I totally fucked it up. I was gonna say we are the we are the Wu-Tang Clan of the podcast. The video game podcast area. Because I was like, Anyway, yes, Wu-Tang Clan, so good. Dave, couch co-optional.
Oh, Clarkson's Farm.
Clark's. Oh my God, so good.
Season 2, you guys said came out.
Better than the first
season one's
season.
good though. So
First season's good, but this season's better.
I can't. That's what I need to do tomorrow though. Is look up how it went after the season.
Oh, funny.
He gets into a big fight about planning permission and stuff.
Well, he got in some trouble with fucking running his mouth off in the sun.
Oh
So
yeah,
Amazon's like not sure they're gonna re-sign him.
Oh, dang.
So
yeah.
Oh no.
he was
All
talking
right.
shit. He's talking shit about the Queen and
No, it was just
Meghan
Meghan
Markle, and
he doesn't like Meghan Markle.
no, but he apologized.
Funny.
But we'll see. Anyway, John, what is your couch co-optional? Miller Lite?
Chernobyl
Cool. Okay.
on HBO.
What is it?
Oh,
Sorry.
that was really
Yeah,
good.
What was
my
it?
wife watched that. She
Yes.
loved it.
Chernobyl
That's a-
on
Oh.
HBO. I just finished it tonight.
That's a fun,
Dirty
series.
stuff.
It's very. Yes.
If you like
I love
uplifting
watching
television.
I took a Soviet Union history class in college, and yeah, Chernobyl did a great job of kind of showing the Soviet party system, and people who grew up in the Soviet Union are much tougher than any American. I mean, it's once you start diving into history and how many hardships and atrocities they had to go through. Russian people are very tough. That's
Well,
all I can say.
Our government never would have
Yeah.
done that to us. So
Well, just in that series, just like some of the people that they kind of threw.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
But hey, the director of Last of Us, he's the same guy. He directed Chernobyl.
Oh,
The guy who-
really?
yeah, the
Oh,
guy who
that's
directed Chernobyl is the guy
hilarious.
Oh,
who's
shit,
show
the new episode
running
came
Last
out
of Us.
tonight.
So if you need a
Oh,
connection to video
wow.
games, that's the same guy. So
Okay.
there you go.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that was a big deal. That's why that's why the Last of Us HBO thing was being a big deal, because it's like, oh, we got a real showrunner. We got a real guy. He knows the gritty.
So Ian, what's your couch co-optional?
I
Nipple Blade.
really like the
Aaron's
shrink.
Mobile Minute.
Aaron's
Aaron's
Mobile
Mobile
Minute. We didn't do it tonight, so no. I really like the shrinking on Apple TV Plus with what's
You
his-
said that twice.
Did I already share it already?
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yes.
share it again because I don't think you guys are watching it. Harrison
Oh,
Ford
yeah.
and what's the guy's name?
Jason Statham?
No, not Statham. Jason something.
That'd be awesome.
Sudeikis?
What?
Jason Sudeikis.
Not Sudeikis.
Statham.
It's not even Jason. Is it even Jason? I don't know. It's a really good show. You should watch it. It's funny as fuck. If you don't want that one, because my son is fucking reaming me hard in the ass for it. The new season of Drive to Survive on Netflix is out, and also really fucking awesome. And if you don't give a shit about F1, you should watch this show, because it'll make you give a shit about F1, because F1 is fun and exciting.
Are you going to watch Full Swing? Because isn't that by the same people who did Drive to Survive?
I watched the tennis one and I was not that interested, so
That's
watching the
one,
golf
isn't it?
one, I'm not going to. Probably. I mean, these are tennis and golf are sports that I'm not. I mean, I've
The
been
more
interested in,
individual pursuits,
but F1 is cutthroat.
oh yeah, they're actually like really pissed off at each other, kind of sometimes, and
I'm actually, because you know what's funny? I actually followed this last season in F1 because I've gotten so into F1. I followed this last season, so now I'm actually interested to see how Drive to Survive is going to frame this season. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
I've only watched 2 episodes, but like framing the whole season, I'm just like,
I've watched 3 or 4 now, and it's like, man, it's like some of this, like the teams just inside the teams, not like with the other teams, just the fighting that goes on, and like,
even with Haas being better,
yep.
still not better. Anyway. All right, let's wrap this up. We got to get out of here. Come on, why are we approaching 2 hours? This could have been Nick talking all the time about Fallout Vegas. God damn.
Shut up, Nick.
Shout out Nick. Shout out Nick. All right.
No, shut up, Nick.
Shut up, Nick. No, shout out Nick. I don't want
No,
Nick to
don't
shut
shut
up.
up,
I
man.
just want Nick to
No,
shout
I want
out.
Nick to
I
shut
want
up.
I want Nick to shout out, not to shut up.
Mm.
All
I want
right.
succinct. Nick.
So do I. That would be nice.
I just want to. I just
Oh,
want to see my.
Jarrod.
I want to see my son on Nick's lap, and that'll probably shut him up. All right. I want to.
Be.
I want to thank you all for listening and remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com or head over to anchor.fm/thecouchcoopshow and leave us a voice message. It's a button. You go to the website, it's a button. You go on your computer, it's a button. You go to your phone, it's a button. You just hit it. You record a message. It's super easy to do, and there's a pretty good chance I'm going to play it on the air. Maybe someday we'll do it. You know what? One of you guys should just do it to prove how easy it is. It's like, oh, I pushed the button and I recorded it. Just to
I think I've done this before.
yeah, but that was before you were on the show. Now I need you to do it after the show, just to prove that it's easy. All right,
Push
all right,
Ian's
all right,
button.
all right. Yeah, push my button. I want to thank Jarrod, who's not in his seat right now, Nick DeWin, David Russell, John Patrick Kelly, for joining me
I'm
here
not
on the couch.
biased.
I'm Ian Southworth. For Couch Co-op, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
All one word, no hyphen.
Oh, yeah. Wild
Yep.
Stallions. Wild Stallions? Are we all Wild Stallions?
No, because we don't do that anymore.
All right, later, boys.
Jared's a solo stallion.
Bye, Felicia.
Uh,